I pretty much been to prison, every prison that California has. Pelican Bay, San Quentin, Folsom, Corcoran, Solano, Susanville, Jamestown. The biggest experience and lesson that I learned from prison was with regard to the time. I gained a lot of valuable knowledge in prison. I suffer from PTSD right now because of it. I don't like being in crowds and people. It was the time. I went to jail and got on parole in 1985, and I didn't get off of parole until 2010. I never saw 365 consecutive days on the street from 1985 until 2010. It was a much different time. Just like on the streets, when I started going to the pen, you was gonna mind somebody, and you wasn't gonna be in there wilding out, and some brothers was gonna make sure that you spent your time wisely, and it wasn't just a total loss. I don't see that being the same now with the guards or the politics. It's pretty much what prison will teach you is that you keep it respectable at all times. You know, what was enforced in us in home when I started going to prison was enforced in us in prison. We couldn't do anything. It was words that we couldn't say. You know, and you was gonna get up and you was gonna work out and you gonna listen to the big homies. Even with the guards, you know, I have you know, they just like everybody else. I've had bad experience with guards and good experience with guards, and a lot of my bad experience with guards was I'm always fall back to accountability, what I was doing and how I was acting. I remember one time this guard, he was a cadet, and he was walking along the tier, and he was trying to hurry up and make me get in my cell. And at the time, you know, I'm working out 2 times a day, you know, chunky. And so he trying to show out in front of the actual guards and make me hurry up and go to my cell. It didn't happen. He ended up getting clowned and laughed at. But, you know, guards is just like any other organization. They know either this is going to make him or break him. About 20 years later, I seen this same guard, and he was a captain. And one of my, well, I ain't going to say my partner, but you grew up with them too. They know you back in here and left your family again. You know, you get that kind of report with them. So seeing one of the guards, Sergeant Brown, he was like, DR, you want to work at R&R? And I said, yeah. So we get there, and the captain of R&R happened to be that same guard that was trying to rush me to my cell when he was a cadet. And he, no lie, he looked up out of his office and he ran up on me and he said, who hired you here? And I was like, man, what are you talking? The whole time I knew exactly who he was, just like he knew who I was. To make a long story short, he remembered that incident and he fired me. And in prison, R&R is the best job. You want R&R. You know what I mean? But he got me up out of there. But I had changed. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the same person I was in 95, 96, 94 as I was. This happened in like the early 2000s. I didn't take offense to it. You know, I knew he remembered me and it was funny to me. You know, you waste a lot of time doing some silly stuff, and it was different, man. Just like growing up in the neighborhood now is different. I don't think I could do 30 minutes now because I have a low tolerance for disrespectful people, and these youngsters now, they too tough for me. But the main thing for me is don't waste your time that way if you don't have to, because if I could have took those 20 years and applied them to a trade or a school or just being a better father, a better person, I can imagine what my life would be like today.